What's up, Water's Edge Church? My name is Jacob, and I'm so excited to be bringing you this week's sermon thoughts. Now, in case you haven't watched the service yet, I want to challenge you to go back and watch the whole service after this video because it was an incredible service. We took time to celebrate everything that God has done over the last 18 years as we celebrated Weck's 18th birthday. But there was one part of the sermon that really stuck out to me. It was when Pastor Stu was talking about his vision that God gave him for our church 18 years ago. And he said the purpose and the personality of the church should be Jesus' purpose and personality. So why don't you check out what Pastor Stu said about the purpose of the church.
Jesus made his purpose so incredibly crystal clear. It's remarkable that we confuse it today. Now, Jesus did a lot of good things while he was here on the earth. You know that. Jesus healed a lot of people. Jesus taught some things. Jesus spoke to some social issues of the day. Jesus corrected some things. He rebuked some people all along the way. Jesus did a lot of good things while he was here on the earth, but none of those things are why Jesus came. None of those things truly reflect the purpose of Jesus. Jesus clearly communicated his purpose. This is what he said his purpose was. Jesus said, "For the Son of Man came to seek and save those who were lost." That was Jesus' purpose. He came to seek and save those who are lost. Jesus was on a rescue mission from heaven to earth to bring God's lost children back into a relationship with him. Jesus came to connect people who were disconnected from the Father back to the Father, to seek and to save the lost. And so a church that's going to reflect the purpose of Jesus must exist to do the exact same thing. The church I saw 18 years ago is a church that had Jesus' purpose to seek and save the lost. Now, sometimes people will ask me, they'll say, what's been like the hardest thing, the most difficult thing, the most challenging thing about starting and leading this church over the last 18 years. And I could tell you some stories, all right, because it hasn't all been fun and it hasn't all been easy all along the way. You people have given me my fair share of gray hair. I can promise you that, all right? Literally, like it hasn't all been easy, but I would say the hardest, most difficult challenge over the last 18 years has been staying focused. Staying focused. It's been difficult to stay focused on our purpose. No is a lot harder to say than yes. I don't know if you know that. But keeping us focused on the filter that it's not about us, it's all about others. That it's not about insiders, it's actually all about outsiders. That it's not about what we want from the church, but it's about changing the way other people think about church. Honestly, that's been the hardest. That's been the most difficult. And probably, I'll just tell you, that's probably been what's cost us the most. You want to know the number one reason people give for leaving churches, and this isn't just our church, any church, but the number one reason people go from one church to the next or leave a church and don't go to any church, the number one reason that people have left our church even is because the church doesn't meet my needs. Have you ever heard anybody say that? Maybe you've said that. Maybe you said that about this church or some other church. The church just doesn't meet my needs. My needs. Now maybe they don't come right out and say it that way. Maybe they disguise it with some other language or point to something else that they wish the church would do that the church isn't doing. But at the heart of it, the number one reason most people leave churches is because they don't believe that the church is fulfilling its purpose, the purpose they want it to have, which is really all about themselves. The church doesn't meet my needs.
When I first heard that part of the message, my toes were stepped on. We often say things like the message wasn't deep enough, the worship wasn't the songs we wanted, the programming isn't right for my family. But as the message continued, I went from toe stepped on to inspired. I went to a place where I had a better understanding of Jesus' purpose, and therefore a better understanding of the church's purpose, and therefore a better understanding of my purpose within the church. Pastor Stu went on to talk about how not only was the church's purpose a reflection of Jesus' purpose, but the church's personality was a reflection of Jesus' personality. Now, I don't want to say too much more than that because I don't want to spoil the message for you. Instead, I want to encourage you right now, as this video ends, to go back and watch this week's sermon, House of Miracles, Part 2, The Church I Saw.